In an extraordinary and deeply moving story of survival, Angelica Hale, the young singing sensation who would later rise to national fame on America's Got Talent, first captured the attention of doctors, not audiences, as she fought for her life in a children's hospital in Atlanta. It was 2011 when, at just 4 years old, Angelica was struck by a severe case of bacterial pneumonia that rapidly escalated into a full-blown medical crisis, triggering septic shock and causing catastrophic failure of multiple organs, including her kidneys. According to medical experts at the time, her prognosis was bleak. In a desperate bid to keep her alive, Angelica was placed in a medically induced coma and attached to an ECMO machine, an advanced life support system typically used only in the most critical of cases when the heart and lungs have ceased to function properly. For 12 grueling days, her tiny body clung to life, while her parents, James and Eva, remained by her side, helpless but hopeful. After a harrowing 80 days in the hospital, she was finally discharged on April 24, 2012, in what doctors and family alike described as nothing short of a miracle. But the battle was far from over. Her kidneys remained non-functional, forcing her to undergo daily dialysis for the next 18 months, a brutal routine for any patient, let alone a small child. During this time, Angelica's resilience became evident not just in her recovery, but in her demeanor. Nurses and visitors often remarked on her unshakable spirit and surprisingly upbeat attitude, which stood in stark contrast to the painful treatments she endured. This early ordeal didn't just test her body, it forged her will. And while most toddlers her age were just learning to ride tricycles or start school, Angelica Hale was learning what it meant to survive against impossible odds. This near-death experience would later become the emotional core behind the voice that would bring millions to tears, setting the stage for a journey defined not just by talent, but by unyielding determination and the power of hope. In what may be one of the most profound demonstrations of maternal love ever witnessed in the public eye, Eva Belando Hale made the ultimate sacrifice to ensure her daughter Angelica's survival. She gave her a kidney. Following the initial storm of bacterial pneumonia and the resultant organ failure that left Angelica tethered to machines and reliant on dialysis, the Hale family was faced with a haunting reality. The child who had defied death once still needed a working kidney to live a normal life. For 18 months, Angelica's routine was dictated by dialysis treatments, her days punctuated by discomfort, hospital visits, and the ever-looming threat of further complications. Eva, watching her daughter endure this relentless ordeal, underwent the extensive evaluation process to determine donor compatibility. It was a match. On September 13, 2013, in an operating room where science met sacrifice, Eva's kidney was transplanted into her daughter's fragile body. The procedure was a success, marking the turning point in Angelica's life and restoring her physical freedom. But this act was more than just a medical milestone. It was a defining emotional bond, one that infused Angelica with a deeper sense of purpose. In interviews, Eva has often downplayed her role, but the magnitude of her decision resonates through every achievement Angelica has earned since. Medical professionals lauded the transplant as a critical success, but for Angelica, it was the moment she truly began to dream again. Freed from the constraints of her illness, she began to find her voice, literally. She sang around the house, humming melodies and practicing notes, as if the new organ had given her not just life, but music. This renewed vitality became the foundation of her future artistry. Eva's selfless gift not only saved a life, it helped launch a career. It set the stage for Angelica's emergence, not just as a survivor, but as a symbol of unwavering spirit, supported by the quiet strength of a mother's love. Long before the bright lights of America's Got Talent ever bathed her in applause, Angelica Hale was already carving a name for herself in the local performance circuits of Atlanta, Georgia, displaying a voice far too mature for her age, and a stage presence that hinted at her future stardom. With a second chance at life now coursing through her thanks to her mother's kidney, Angelica seemed determined not to waste a moment of it. Her parents, recognizing her immense passion for music, supported her early training through private vocal coaching and active participation in community theater productions, where she quickly became a standout. Her big break prior to national TV came through her work with the Broadway Dreams Foundation, an elite performance-based nonprofit aimed at nurturing young theatrical talent. Her talent didn't go unnoticed. One of her most memorable early moments came in 2015, when she performed America the Beautiful during the US Open men's semifinals, a stage few children are ever invited to. With thousands in the stadium and millions watching worldwide, her pitch-perfect delivery stunned audiences and hinted at something extraordinary brewing waiting in the wings. This was more than a precocious child dabbling in performance. It was a young girl who had survived the worst and was now equipped with both the emotional depth and technical prowess to connect with listeners on a powerful level. Her performances consistently earned standing ovations and glowing praise, with local media beginning to take note of the pint-sized powerhouse whose voice soared far beyond her years. These formative experiences laid a solid foundation, both technically and emotionally, for the enormous challenges and opportunities that would come with reality television fame. Angelica's early stage work was not just rehearsal for AGT, it was a crucible in which she learned how to channel her survival story into her singing, delivering each note not just with skill, but with soul. In hindsight, every song she sang before stepping onto that national platform became a stepping stone, sharpening her artistry and cementing her ability to move hearts with a single verse. When Angelica Hale walked onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2017 as a wide-eyed 9-year-old, she carried with her not just a dream of stardom but the weight of a miraculous second chance at life. And the moment she opened her mouth to sing Rise Up by Andra Day, the atmosphere inside the auditorium shifted palpably. From the very first note, it was clear to both judges and viewers alike that this was no ordinary child singer. Her voice trembled with raw emotional gravity, shaped by a life story far more complex than her years. The performance, haunting in its clarity and triumphant in its message, earned thunderous applause and a standing ovation from all 4 judges, with Simon Cowell leaning forward, clearly captivated. And yet, in a surprising twist, Angelica did not receive the coveted golden buzzer during that audition, a decision that stunned the audience and has since become a focal point of AGT lore. But what she did receive was perhaps even more enduring. Simon Cowell's prophetic remark that she would become a star, a comment that would later echo through every milestone in her unfolding career. While some contestants may falter without the immediate validation of a golden buzzer, Angelica used the moment as fuel, returning to future rounds with even more fire and vocal command. The viral success of that audition video online, which racked up millions of views within days, quickly established her as a fan favorite and introduced her to a global audience that resonated with her message of resilience and hope. It was the perfect intersection of talent, story, and timing. More than just a performance, that audition became a cultural moment, one that sparked interviews, headlines, and invitations for appearances. But perhaps more importantly, it solidified Angelica Hale as a figure of national inspiration, someone whose presence on the AGT stage transcended competition and touched something deeper in the American psyche. That day wasn't just the start of her TV career, it was the ignition of a legacy. The moment of redemption for Angelica Hale came swiftly during the Judge Cuts round of America's Got Talent Season 12, where the young powerhouse returned to the stage not with nerves, but with fire, quite literally, as she delivered a breathtaking rendition of Alicia Keys' Girl on Fire. The performance was nothing short of electrifying. Angelica's voice soared with confidence, bolstered by both technical mastery and the emotional undercurrent of someone who had already battled life's darkest storms. From the opening note, it was clear she had internalized every word, making it not just a performance but a declaration. Guest judge Chris Hardwick, visibly moved, stood before the last note even landed, proclaiming Angelica's voice from another planet before slamming his hand down on the golden buzzer, sending her straight through to the live shows. The confetti fell, the crowd erupted, and in that cinematic moment, Angelica didn't just qualify, she arrived. What makes this particular golden buzzer moment so iconic is not just the technical excellence of her delivery, but the overwhelming emotional release that followed. The look on Angelica's face as she realized what had happened captured hearts across the country. It was validation that went beyond praise. It was tangible proof that her journey, her pain, and her perseverance were being seen and celebrated on the highest stage. News outlets quickly picked up the story, with headlines declaring her the one to watch, and social media buzzing with admiration for the girl who turned trauma into triumph. From that point on, Angelica was no longer just a hopeful contestant. She was a frontrunner, a beacon of inspiration, and the centerpiece of a season defined by talent and heart. The golden buzzer wasn't just a ticket to the next round, it was the catalyst that propelled her from local prodigy to national treasure, cementing her status as one of AGT's most unforgettable voices. As America's Got Talent Season 12 surged toward its dramatic conclusion, Angelica Hale stood as one of the final 2 contestants, her name now etched into the national consciousness as a symbol of resilience, grace, and powerhouse talent. Her trajectory through the live rounds had been nothing short of spectacular, with each performance, from her stirring rendition of Clarity to the empowering symphony, demonstrating her vocal dexterity and emotional intelligence far beyond her years. But the true showstopper came during the finale, when she was joined on stage by pop superstar Kelly Clarkson for a dynamic duet of Stronger What Doesn't Kill You, a song whose lyrics mirrored Angelica's very existence. The crowd roared, the judges beamed, and for a moment it felt as though the universe itself was cheering on a little girl who had once been on life support. Ultimately, the title went to ventriloquist singer Darcy Lynn Farmer, but Angelica's immediate and heartfelt congratulations to her fellow finalist revealed just as much about her character as her voice ever had. Simon Cowell, moved by the moment, rushed to embrace Angelica in a rare gesture of public affection, whispering words of pride and encouragement into the young singer's ear. What followed wasn't the end of her AGT story, it was a new beginning. Angelica was quickly invited to join the AGT Las Vegas live show at Planet Hollywood, performing alongside past favorites and continuing to captivate audiences in a professional residency typically reserved for adult stars. The finale may not have earned her the official crown, but it solidified something far more enduring: cultural relevance and long-term career viability. She had entered the show as a survivor with a dream and exited as a fully fledged artist with a growing empire. The season's finale wasn't just a climax for AGT, it was the launching pad for one of the most promising young careers in entertainment. Following her triumphant run on America's Got Talent, Angelica Hale's momentum didn't slow. It accelerated into a whirlwind of high-profile performances and nationwide recognition, proving that her talent wasn't confined to a single stage or season. In November 2017, she graced the nationally televised Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade with a performance of Girl on Fire, commanding the streets of New York City with the same poise she displayed on AGT. The following year, she lit up the holiday season once more by performing at the Macy's Great Tree Lighting in Atlanta, a symbolic homecoming that drew large crowds and glowing media coverage. But her voice wasn't only reserved for festivities. Angelica began aligning herself with meaningful causes, using her personal story as a platform for advocacy. One such highlight came when she performed at Celebrity Fight Night, an exclusive charity event known for drawing Hollywood elites and philanthropic heavyweights. Sharing the stage with the likes of David Foster, legendary composer and a judge on Asia's Got Talent, Angelica held her own among titans of the industry. Her authenticity and charm made her a favorite among organizers and donors alike, further expanding her influence beyond music into the realm of social impact. That same year, she was invited to perform at the 2018 Gala for the Organ Project in Toronto, an event dedicated to raising awareness around the life-saving power of organ donation. For Angelica, whose life had been spared through such a gift, the appearance held personal significance, and her moving performance left few dry eyes in the room. The National Kidney Foundation took note, officially naming her a special youth ambassador, a role that allowed her to speak directly to families facing the very fears hers had once known. These appearances weren't just gigs, they were moments of legacy building. By the age of 11, Angelica had already transitioned from a talent show finalist to a respected performer and advocate, seamlessly combining her artistry with purposeful impact. She didn't just keep singing, she made every note count. In January 2019, Angelica Hale once again stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage, but this time with the poise of a seasoned professional and the confidence of a comeback champion. Competing on AGT, The Champions, a spin-off that brought together top contenders from past seasons and international versions of the show, Angelica faced fierce competition, but she also had something no one else could match: a voice refined by experience and a story that continued to evolve. Her chosen song for the preliminary round was Fight Song by Rachel Platten, a powerful anthem that seemed tailor-made for her narrative. As the opening chords played, the audience fell silent, and Angelica's voice once again filled the arena with conviction and clarity, sparking immediate cheers and emotional reactions from both fans and judges. It was Howie Mandel, impressed not just by her vocal range, but by her remarkable growth, who reached for the golden buzzer, launching her straight to the finale and securing her place as one of the show's most successful returning acts. The golden confetti rained down once more, and just like that, Angelica Hale became the only AGT contestant to receive a golden buzzer in 2 separate seasons, an unprecedented feat that made headlines across entertainment media. Though she ultimately did not take home the championship trophy, magician Shin Lim won that season. Angelica walked away with something arguably more valuable: a reaffirmation of her staying power. Viewers noted her evolution not only in voice but in presence, as she demonstrated greater command of the stage, sharper performance instincts, and a matured ability to connect emotionally with audiences worldwide. Her return performance quickly trended online, earning millions of views and drawing renewed attention to her growing body of work. For a young artist still in her early teens, Angelica Hale had already accomplished what many dream of in a lifetime, turning a second chance at life into a second shot at stardom, and nailing both. In May 2019, Angelica Hale took a bold step beyond the talent show spotlight with the release of her debut album, Feel the Magic, marking her evolution from a competition singer to a full-fledged recording artist with a message. The album was deeply personal, a collection of songs that reflected not only her vocal versatility, but also her journey through trauma, healing, and triumph. Unlike many child performers who fade after their television moment, Angelica used hers as a launchpad for long-term artistic expression. The title track's music video featured a blend of theatrical imagery and real-world clips, weaving together childhood wonder with the gravitas of her personal story. It quickly racked up millions of views, drawing praise for its maturity and production value. Critics noted her ability to convey complex emotions through her voice, particularly impressive for someone barely in their teens. But the album was more than a musical statement, it was a declaration of identity. From empowering anthems to soulful ballads, every track echoed with the voice of someone who had lived through extraordinary circumstances and emerged stronger. In interviews surrounding the release, Angelica spoke candidly about her desire to create music that not only entertains but uplifts, particularly for young people facing adversity. That vision extended to her promotional efforts, which included performances at family-friendly events, school functions, and benefit concerts, all designed to reach diverse audiences. Her work resonated especially well with youth battling illness, many of whom saw Angelica as proof that survival could lead to success. The album's release also helped cement her as a cross-platform talent, capable of thriving in a music industry dominated by viral trends and short attention spans. With a growing fan base, major media attention, and a compelling backstory that continued to inspire, Angelica Hale had transformed from America's sweetheart into an artist of substance. Feel the Magic wasn't just an album title, it was a prophecy fulfilled, signaling that her career had only just begun, and that her voice would continue to be a powerful force for both beauty and change. As 2019 unfolded, Angelica Hale continued to diversify her talents beyond the music studio, embracing opportunities in voice acting and film that showcased a different dimension of her creativity and positioned her as a versatile entertainer for the next generation. One of her most notable roles came with the animated Disney Junior series Mira, Royal Detective, where she voiced the character Maya, a vibrant and intelligent young girl who reflected much of Angelica's real-life optimism and charm. The series, which focused on South Asian representation and cultural themes, earned praise for its inclusivity and positive messaging, and Angelica's role in it allowed her to connect with a younger demographic in a new way. Her performance was praised by fans and producers alike for its emotional depth and natural delivery, proving that her talents extended well beyond the microphone. That same year, she also appeared in the independent feature film American Reject, a comedy drama that offered her first foray into live-action acting. While her screen time was limited, her performance hinted at a promising future in the world of film and television. These ventures weren't just resume fillers, they were strategic moves that allowed Angelica to expand her brand, deepen her reach, and test her range as an entertainer. More importantly, they signaled her commitment to growth. While many former child stars struggled to break free from the roles that made them famous, Angelica approached each new opportunity with enthusiasm and professionalism, eager to learn and evolve. She attended acting workshops, worked with vocal coaches specifically for animated voice work, and began studying the business side of the industry. In doing so, she proved that she wasn't just a one-season wonder or a viral clip. She was building a lasting career. As the entertainment world began to shift toward multi-hyphenate creators who could sing, act, and advocate, Angelica Hale emerged as a true voice of her generation, talented, resilient, and always looking forward. Her transition into acting wasn't a departure from music, it was an expansion of the stage on which she would continue to shine. Even as Angelica Hale's career soared with album releases, voice acting roles, and growing media acclaim, it wasn't without its difficult pauses and moments of recalibration, especially when health concerns once again threatened to derail her progress. In 2019, amid mounting excitement over her joining the TNT Boys on their highly anticipated world tour, Angelica had to unexpectedly withdraw due to undisclosed medical complications, a decision that was undoubtedly heartbreaking for her and disappointing for fans. But true to her nature, she didn't allow the setback to define her. Instead, Angelica refocused her energy on digital content and family-centered creativity, launching a charming YouTube cooking series with her younger sister. The light-hearted episodes, often filled with giggles and playful sibling rivalry, gave fans a new window into her personality while keeping her connected to audiences during a time when she wasn't touring. This digital pivot wasn't accidental. It reflected her adaptability and understanding of how to sustain engagement even when life throws a curveball. In parallel, she collaborated with fellow AGT alum Evie Claire on a heartfelt duet of The Prayer, which was met with emotional praise and widespread online sharing, further reinforcing her status as a community favorite and a symbol of grace in adversity. The authenticity of her journey, health battles, professional pivots, and all became her brand. During a period when many child stars fade from public view, Angelica deepened her relevance by letting fans see the full spectrum of her life, not just the stage-ready singer, but the daughter, sister, and survivor navigating new terrain with humility and strength. She also remained active in awareness campaigns, speaking out on topics like pediatric health and mental well-being, especially as the COVID-19 pandemic forced a broader conversation about youth resilience. In every appearance and post, she demonstrated that resilience isn't about pretending everything is fine, it's about showing up, even when it's hard. This period solidified Angelica's transformation from prodigy to role model, reminding her fans that true star power is as much about character as it is about talent. By the close of 2023, Angelica Hale added yet another jewel to her ever-growing crown of accomplishments by stepping into the demanding and prestigious world of musical theater, signing on to play the role of Trish in the Broadway-bound production of Boots, the musical. This casting choice wasn't just a reflection of her vocal talent, it signaled industry recognition of her artistic range and endurance. Transitioning from television and digital content to live theater required a different type of discipline, one that demanded rigorous rehearsal schedules, live vocal consistency, and deep character immersion, skills Angelica had quietly been developing over the years. Insiders from the production reported that her work ethic stunned veteran performers, noting how quickly she adapted to the demands of blocking, choreography, and character study. It marked a new chapter in her career. No longer just a child sensation, Angelica was emerging as a serious theatrical talent. This bold move was complemented by her increasing financial success, with reported annual earnings exceeding $600,000, sourced from music royalties, live performances, brand partnerships, and her consistently growing YouTube channel, which boasts over 3.2 million subscribers. Her Instagram following, topping 1.4 million, further confirmed her staying power in a competitive digital age. Yet what sets Angelica apart isn't just her income or popularity, it's the way she continues to carry her platform with humility and intention. Even as she graced rehearsals and promotional events, she remained active in her advocacy work, frequently using her social media to promote awareness about organ donation and pediatric illness. Her career trajectory now mirrors that of artists who transition seamlessly between mediums, much like Ariana Grande or Selena Gomez in their early years. But Angelica's path carries the distinct weight of personal survival and public service. As she prepares to take the Broadway stage, she represents more than entertainment. She stands as proof that courage, talent, and authenticity can carry a young girl from an ICU bed to the heart of New York theater. Her rise is not just ongoing, it's accelerating. From a medically induced coma to standing ovations on the world's biggest stages, Angelica Hale's life story reads like a modern-day miracle wrapped in unwavering determination, and yet even after Broadway roles, viral duets, and a rapidly expanding entertainment portfolio, what's most remarkable is that she's still only in her teens. Her journey has never been about one shining moment. It's about consistently showing up, growing, evolving, and redefining what it means to be a young artist with both heart and purpose. While many AGT alumni find fleeting fame, Angelica has turned hers into a durable platform built on resilience and meaningful engagement. Whether it's in the recording studio, on the animated screen, under the Broadway spotlight, or speaking at a charity gala, she continues to remind the world that talent is amplified by intention, and that every setback is an invitation to rise again. As she now prepares for her next chapter in theater and beyond, one thing is certain: this is not the story of a child star peaking too early. It's the ongoing ascent of a multi-dimensional performer whose best work is still ahead. For fans who followed her since that first AGT audition, and for new admirers just discovering the depth behind her voice, Angelica Hale remains a voice not just of a generation, but of hope. If you want to keep exploring untold stories like this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment about the moment Angelica moved you most. The next spotlight might shine on someone you've never expected. This content is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. It does not constitute professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for medical, legal, or personal guidance as needed.